Hello again everyone from Tokyo, Japan, and welcome back to Two Wheels in Tokyo, where I'm coming to you again from in front of the Tokyo National Art Center, or Shinbijutsukan. And I'm standing on the grounds of Aoyama Park, and I'm next to this funny glass building here. Used to not be made of glass, it's just the back half of it, but was formerly a piece of the old headquarters of the 3rd Japanese Infantry Division. This entire area used to be a military headquarters and training complex. Nowadays it's dedicated to more peaceful purposes. We have the museum there. We have the, I guess, Institute for Foreign Policy Studies here. The only military thing left is that two-tone, and that is the United States Army's Hardee Barracks, which is located right in the middle of the city. Usually a really quiet place, and then all the helicopters come here and Secret Service and all that kind of stuff. So it's a good place to make a video because it's normally very quiet. The cicadas are coming out and starting to try to provide me some background music to my video. But I figured today, since it's too hot to ride, I would go ahead and make a video showcasing the most recent upgrades to my bike here. And for those of you who saw my last video, you can probably spot the more obvious upgrades. And I guess it's obvious because pretty much everything now on this bike has been upgraded except for the seat post. The most obvious thing here is the new things are the wheels and tires, which are much better than what was on there before, or were on there. I replaced the original cheapy WTB wheels and tires with these Mavic all-road wheels and Panaracer Gravel King SK tires. These are the 45mm tires. And even with 45mm tires, I still have a fair amount of clearance in the fork and back. I'll probably run 47s or 50s for the Tour Divide. I think that's big enough without being too big. The other upgrade is the cassette and derailleur on the back. I got rid of the small, I guess, 11 to 34 GRX 400, and now I'm running the XTR 9100 series 10 to 51 cassette with the GRX 822 rear derailleur. I love how this works. I have all the range now I need for climbing the steepest climbs. This part of the bike is done. One issue I have is this kind of the 34 tooth chain ring in the front. I don't have a lot of top end on this bike, and riding around the town I can ride in the highest gear and pretty much max it out. It's a fairly fast bike because it's light, but when it's on the Tour Divide and it's loaded down with gear and considering the terrain, I'm not worried about having much top end. I just want to be able to keep a consistent pace on the flatter and smoother parts, and just to be able to grind up the hills and the steeper areas. And I think that this is a good combination for that. The other upgrade I made was this Data Super Zero carbon gravel bar. I like this bar. It's much lighter than the original one. I like the internal cable routing, so the cables aren't taped to the bottom anymore. They run through the bar, and I have to work on the length a little bit. I got the rear brake cable length just right. I do have to shorten the front a little bit more and shorten the derailleur cable, and that'll make it much cleaner, and I'll have less stuff to get snagged on the bags and equipment and other things I'll be carrying. Another upgrade is this beautiful Thompson Elite stem. You can see it's a work of art. I love the way it looks. I chose a short stem because I want the bar to be back a little bit to give me a more upright position. And I'll be attaching an aero bar to this as well, and I don't want the aero bar to be too far in front of me. I want to be able to get onto it more quickly and easily. And also by moving back the bar, when I put the bag and stuff on the front, the bar bag and stuff, it's not going to be too far forward over the front axle, and I think that'll make the bike a little bit easier to manage. Of course, I have my Wahoo mounted here, and then I have a bracket here for my Insta360 Ace Pro on the bottom. I haven't had much good luck with GoPro cameras over the years, so I finally stopped using them and switched over to Insta360, and I'm really happy with this camera, which I'm using now. And I'll probably take this, or I'm certain to take this when I go on the Tour Divide next year. Of course, the other upgrades I had to do were the brake and shifter levers. These are the GRX 820 series for the 12 speed. Shimano, of course, just released their Di 212 speed, but it's not available in a 1x setup. And since it's not available in a 1x setup, it's not really useful to me. I want to keep it, sweet and simple. KISS, KISS. Keep it short and simple, or keep it simple, stupid, however you want to say it. But I think that the more simplified the mechanics of the machine are, the less likely I am to have problems, and the more easily they'll be able to be repaired. It seems that most of the people nowadays running the Tour Divide prefer the SRAM electronic system with, I guess, 10 or 11 to 52, I think it is, or 53 cassette on the back. I think Campy's the one running 53, but whatever it is, that's popular. And the reason it's popular is because the lack of cables. You don't have to have, because it's a wireless system. But on the other hand, I don't like to rely too much on electronics in places where the climate varies a lot. If it freezes and your batteries freeze, you might be able to salvage them and get them working again, or maybe you won't. And finding replacement batteries in the middle of nowhere in Canada or Wyoming or Montana or whatever is not going to be easy, whereas cables are very easy to replace. And even if I break a derailleur cable, and I've done that before in the past, I can simply just get a length of cable and I can just pull on it and adjust it to the length to get in whatever gear I need, and simply tie the cable somewhere, and that will lock it in that particular gear. It won't be very clean or elegant, but it'll work and allow me to use most of the gears on the derailleur. And even if it's possible even to do this with zip ties. If you don't have any cable at all, if you have some zip ties, you can run the zip ties here and move the derailleur one way or the other and lock it into the gear you need. It's something you can do when all else fails, but something which you can't really do on the electronic system. So I'm going to go ahead and stick with this. And I've been running Shimano stuff for years and years. When I was young, I never touched Shimano. I was a Campagnolo guy. Everything I had was a Campy record. Kind of a snob, but it's not that I was rich or anything. I just, I was foolish with my money. Probably a better way to say it. But since I've been running Shimano, I've never had any issues with it. And I've been running this system here, this GRX, on my other bike, 12 speed, since the beginning of the year, and it's worked flawlessly without a single issue. So I figured that's perfect to run on this bike. Another upgrade which I made, I got rid of the original GRX 400 calipers, and I replaced them with these GRX 800 series, the newest ones, which go with 820 shifters. And I find that these have better modulation, are less noisy, and are just a better design than the earlier ones. The only thing I don't like about them is they are more difficult to bleed. Instead of the simple nipple which you attach the hose to when you loosen the nipple to bleed the brakes, it requires two different things. You have to remove this cap and attach your brake bleeding hose. Then you need an Allen wrench to unlock the valve on the back, and that's complicated. I don't like the bleeding system, but on the other hand, I love the performance of the brake. And I've already replaced the heavy steel hardware with these little bits of titanium which I had in my toolbox. So I'll make this bike about as light as I can get away with. I'm not sure if I'm going to stick with these all-road wheels yet. The guy's making me a good deal on a new set of Shimano GRX WH880 wheels, which are the micro spline wheels, which were originally designed to go with the complete 12-speed GRX kit. So I'll have to see about that, and if it works, if he gives me a good price, I'll go ahead and check them out. And I think they're a fair amount lighter than these Mavic All-Roads, and if they are, then I'll just put these on another bike and I'll swap. Then I'll have a complete Shimano bicycle, with the exception, of course, of the bar, stem, and seat post. Once again, I have to give honorable mention to my Brooks saddle, the most comfortable saddle I've ever used. This thing is like sitting on a sofa. Seriously, I have no issues with numbness, no issues with comfort. I can ride this bike all day in jeans or ordinary shorts without needing padding or anything like that. It takes a long time to break it into where it's perfect, but once it's there, it's just the most wonderful way to ride. I don't think I have any more upgrades that I can do to this bike unless I just I make lateral upgrades. That is, not improving things, just changing things to make them different. The seat post is the last thing to change, and that's I've got on deposit a new Thompson Elite seat post, which will match my stem. So once that's on there, that should complete the bike. I think I mentioned in the last video that I've got most of the bags which I need. I've got the frame bag, I've got the seat bag, I've got a top tube bag. The only bag I don't have yet is the handlebar bag. And one of the things I like about this stem and being able to move the cables in a more out of the way place is that putting the accessories on the front is much cleaner without the thread of them getting tangled up or in the hoses and cables. Other things, lights, I'll be running, I won't be running a dynamo hub. I've had too many issues with dynamo hubs and dynamos and stuff in the past. I'm simply going to run a rechargeable lamp. I've been using Lezyne 1600 on one of my bikes for 2.5 years, and it still works flawlessly. It still lasts a long time, so I'm going to stick with that brand when I put the light on this bike, and that's what I'll carry with me. And my Wahoo Element Roam here, which I'm kind of happy with. I love how it works when I upload a map into it. It's very accurate, but for normal riding conditions, when I switch it on, I usually have to ride about 2 kilometers before it starts working and starts recording my ride. And other issues, it always says I'm getting on a climb when I'm not. So for every one time I'm actually going up on a climb and I get the climb alert, 8 other times I'm on flat ground or going downhill, so I'm not sure what is up with that. I keep updating the firmware as it comes available, but the problem persists, so whatever. But when it does work, it works well. I find that my Strava app on my watch and phone are more accurate than my Wahoo when it comes to recording my ride, but maybe that's just a Japan thing. Maybe this will work better in North America, so we'll have to wait and see. For those of you who watched my last video, you probably remember I mentioned that I would be doing a tour of Tokyo video, and I'm hoping tomorrow morning I can go out and get that done. It's going to take a few hours. I'll leave early before the day gets too hot. I'm going to start here in this neighborhood, which is the area where I live, and I'm going to ride out there. Those buildings in the distance, that's the area where Omotesando is located, and beyond that is Harajuku. Then over toward that direction would be Shibuya, and then coming back this way through Roppongi, I would find my way to Tokyo Tower. Then going out, I would head out toward Ginza and the Tsukiji Fish Market, and then toward Tokyo Station and Shinbashi and the Sumida River with its beautiful skyline. Way out that way would be Asakusa and the Tokyo Skytree, and then I would come back from that way to here. It would be kind of an all day, maybe not too far, maybe 40 kilometers, but it will show the most interesting parts of the city, and from the perspective of a bicycle seat, which for those of you who like cycling, you might find interesting. It'll be a long video, so you know, if you need something to do with the weather's bad, you can't go out cycling yourself, maybe you can watch it. And and it might inspire you to come out here and do some cycling while you are on a visit to Tokyo. So anyway, that's it for the video. If anyone has any suggestions, comments, ideas, criticisms, anything like that, feel free to leave them in the comment section below the video. And as I said, I'll be doing that next video tomorrow, and hopefully I'll have it up in time by next weekend. I'll have it edited and ready, so if you want to check it out, please subscribe or come back. If you like this video, please click the like button. Thank you very much for watching, and I hope you tune in again soon.